which is a sellout church, deep state sellout church, and Yankee Arnold. And I'll be speaking about them and tyranny in general. So, Duluth Bible Church and Yankee Arnold have targeted me for this satanic, wicked, evil persecution program called gang stalking of toilet widows. What is gang stalk of toilet widows? Gang stalk of toilet widows is a secret. There's people, anybody being targeted with this program called gang stalking, they are being persecuted. Me, being a total individual, that's a Christian, that means by default I'm a persecuted Christian total individual, which means I'm targeted with persecution, state oppression. So gang stalking definitely has government involvement. And I've been targeted with this secret persecution program called gang stalking of total widows more than a decade, for more than 10 years here in Sweden. This program also exists in America. And unfortunately, I've seen Christian ministries, pastors, Bible teachers active online that have YouTube channels participate in the persecution, participate in the targeting. How have they been participating? Well, one of the ways they've been participating in the persecution is by targeting me with what's called narcissistic dog whistling abuse tactics in the videos to the Bible Church, Yankee Arnold. And in my previous video, I dealt one of the most wicked, evil examples of participation in gang stalking, which means this program at a certain point in time started in the psychological warfare to threaten me that they're gonna hurt my mother and make her bleed. And they would like, we're gonna hurt your mother, make her bleed as a sacrifice, blood sacrifice. And then they will gaslight and say that I want them to do it. So this, I've dealt with this before. It's like narcissistic psychopathic abuse. Blame the victim. Where it's like they start at a certain point of targeting, using as a psychological warfare theme threats that they're gonna hurt my mother. Because threats against me didn't take that much. Like, we're gonna hurt you, we're gonna do this, do that. That didn't really have that much effect after some time. So they started threatening to hurt my mother, the gang stalking persecution program, via flying monkeys, online and real life, with directed speech, subtle veiled threats. And eventually it becomes clear that they're threatening to harm my mother. Not only did they threaten to harm my mother, more specifically, the theme would be, we're gonna make your mother bleed, we're gonna hurt your mother, maybe murder or make her hurt so she bleeds as a sacrifice, blood sacrifice, and you want us to do it. That's a gaslighting on top of it. Blame the victim. Well, it's bad enough, insult to injury. It's bad enough to communicate terroristic veiled threats that we're gonna hurt your mother, innocent third party, and make her bleed. And then worse when they go, and it's your fault when we hurt her. We're gonna hurt your mother, make her bleed, and it's your fault when we do it because you want us to do it. Okay, you want us to do it, gaslighting. And I go, I don't want to do it, you want us to do it. It's you want us to do it. And this is something that the Bible Church has participated in. That shows just how wicked and evil they are, and Yankee Arnold. That they have communicated these threats, veiled, subtle threats, for the program, that the program is going to hurt my mother and make her bleed. Before the deep state satanic secret society scum filth that's behind the governments and behind the targeting made good on the threats. And how they did that, my mom was on a vacation in Greece or Spain. And remember, the threats had been for a while, we're going to hurt your mother, make you bleed as a blood sacrifice. Blood sacrifice going to hurt your mother, make you bleed. The Bible Church communicated these veiled threats for the program. Yankee Arnold too. My mom goes on a vacation. My mother is a diabetic, type 1 diabetic, which means she has bad circulation to her legs. And diabetics a lot of times have neuropathy, comorbidity. Commonly correlated with having type 1 diabetes is getting neuropathy and problems with your feet. So my mother takes good care of her feet, and she goes to like salons where people do pedicure, manicure, whatever it's called. Like they shave her feet and then take good care of her feet and things like this. She goes to one of these salons in Greece or Spain where she was on vacation. And she calls me, we talk on the phone, messenger, video call on the phone, whatever. And I'm asking her, she says, well, don't get too worried, but it's like I was at a beauty salon and they slipped with the scalpel and cut me in the foot. And instantly I go, oh, okay. They've been threatening that my mother's going to get hurt and made to bleed. So this was the program making good on the threats. See, got a flying monkey, got somebody put up to do this. And my mom said, foot wounds in diabetics can lead to amputations and possibly even be fatal, which she didn't make that up. I've done my research on that. Because there's quite a lot of diabetics that have had foot amputations. Because due to the high diabetes and the blood circulation, whatever the issue is, they're more likely to have a foot infection if they injure their foot and require an amputation. It can even become fatal. And that's after the Bible Church, where I think Arnold had been communicating these veiled threats that my mother would be hurt and made to bleed. That's satanic ritual abuse. See? That's literal satanic ritual abuse. Because part of this threat theme that uses psychological warfare would be, we're going to make your mother hurt, make her bleed. Blood sacrifice, blood sacrifice, blood sacrifice, going to make her bleed. Okay. And I've dealt with this several times. And the gaslighting, so it's like if you analyze the psychological warfare, a big part of the targeting is understandable through the framework of narcissistic abuse. Because smear campaigns are used to justify targeting, to recruit flying monkeys, to carry out narcissistic dog abuse tactics mostly. Okay? Where every time a target goes to the supermarket, there's people that are sent there, that are government agents, but it's also correct to say they are flying monkeys carrying out narcissistic abuse. And they were recruited by a smear campaign to justify participation in this program. And a big part of how they target you in the psychological warfare is gaslighting. That's a big part of psychological warfare the program uses to target you. So if I look at this tactic, it's designed to create, maintain PTSD, CPTSD. See? Waiting for the other shoe to drop effect. Where it's like these powerful people that have threatened and made good on the threats before. And it's like, you know the power they have because they've been working to destroy your life and they working to get agents and like all the things they're doing. Making threats that they're gonna hurt your mother. And then milking it for the trauma cocktail where it's like, keep threatening. It's like, oh, the guy is not super like stressed all the time anymore. Threaten him more, we're gonna hurt his mother anytime now. So it's going for the waiting for the shoe to drop effect. It's like you're waiting for the phone call, your mom got in a car accident or she got mugged and shot, whatever the thing will be. You're waiting for like the other shoe to drop to hear that they made good on the threats to hurt your mother for a long time. And eventually they made good on them. And that's the truth. So Duluth Bible Church is a gang-stalking church, and that's not the only way they targeted me. But that's one of the most like telling that really shows just how wicked they are. They've been targeting me with narcissist always abuse tactics, gaslighting in the videos, veiled threats, downplaying, like referencing things that have been going on in my life and then putting like a gaslighting spin twist to it. Okay. So Duluth Bible Church and Inc. are two sellout churches. And I'm sure that they closed down during COVID too, Duluth Bible Church. Romans 13, obeyed the higher powers. And I'm sure that they're one of these churches, if the government told them to not have church meetings, that they closed down the church during COVID. There's a lot of Christians that believe that what the government tells you is like you're supposed to admit no matter what. So in the recent video, they were teaching Romans. Okay. And Romans, what is it, 12 or 13, is used by sellout tyrants, ministries that are sold out to the deep state. They love to wrest Romans and use that to get Christians to enable, bow down, submit, enable tyranny. Okay? That's a favorite chapter to wrest. To give you my take on Romans, is it 12 or 13? It's dealing with more like a job description. See? That's right. That this is how the government ought to be. Because it clearly can't mean that this is how the government is. Any country you have a government, read Romans, this is how they operate. Because I've seen the government be a terror to good works and not evil. I've seen the government, Swedish state, being a terror to my good works and not being a terror to evil works. What about America, Duluth Bible Church, where the deep state, human sacrifice, murdered thousands of people on 9/11? Building 7, controlled demolition. That's one of the chinks in the armor. Where the deep state, same deep state that you serve, and thread the blood sacrifice of my mother, a Christian man, they did 9/11, and they planned it in advance, which is why I can make videos showing foreshadowing of 9/11. Because the same deep state that controlled the world, Hollywood, politics, a lot of Christian ministries in America, and the media, they planned the 9/11 attacks more than 10 years before they pulled them off. And they were writing little hints, warnings about what they're going to do before they did it. I haven't seen the cops, the FBI, or the CIA arresting one person. I think that's a pretty evil work, 9/11. To have the deep state powers that be murder thousands of Americans, innocents, murder thousands of Americans as a sacrifice, and I've decoded from the esoteric angle too, where if I look at it, it's like a Freemasonic, esoteric, secret society ritual is part of it. Now, if you look at the main level, they used it to launch a war, just for an invasion, and get new laws on the books to de-Americanize America, to get torture acceptable, enhanced interrogation. See, they use this crisis, problem reaction solution. They plan the crisis in advance, steer the reaction, and they provide a solution. It's like we want to have the ability to just pick people up, put them in black site camps, and torture them. Okay? It's like with the right crisis, we can make that happen. Enhanced interrogation, extraordinary rendition. These things were, 9/11 was used to get torture, and like the Patriot Act, and like wireless phone taps and things like this. Like all this like de-Americanizing America that the founding fathers would be like rolling in the grave about. That's what they use 9/11 for. Now the deeper layer is the deep state Illuminati. A big part of that hierarchy, their secret societies, Freemasons, Odd Fellows, so on and so forth. And when I look at 9/11, analyze it, it's like ritualistic, because it has the two towers symbolizing the two pillars of Freemasonry, Jaw, Queen, and Boaz. And I've dealt with that at length. I make videos teaching on that before. Which, the overarching pattern, first of all, I've been able to find foreshadow the 9/11 attacks in Hollywood movies, because the deep state that controlled Hollywood planned 9/11 in advance, and they were hiding little hints about the coming attacks. Always, Die Hard, this and that movie. And the overarching pattern is there's always like duality. So in a lot of movies, they have two human beings symbolizing the two towers. So a lot of instances of foreshadowing, you have two human beings in the movie plot that are symbolizing the two towers. There's two pillars in Freemasonry with male names, Jaw, Queen, and Boaz. And they symbolize the opposites, unification of opposites, things. It's duality, black and white. So now that's a deeper, that's a different story for another discussion. Now here's the point. Apparently, it doesn't mean Romans that it's like, yeah, the government is a terror to evil works. Like, you don't interpret Romans the right way if you go, well, it says this, the powers to be. That means that that's how they're gonna be. No, I believe that it's closer, the correct interpretation, to a job description, where it's like, here's how government ought to be. If you're gonna have a human government, it should be like this. It should be servants of God, see. Their behavior should be lining up with what God teaches on right and wrong. And they should be a terror to evil works and not to good, see. Not one person got arrested for 9/11. So apparently the American government have powers to be. There haven't been a terror to the evil work of 9/11. Apparently they haven't. What about gang stalking that I'm talking with, which happens in America? It's an evil work. In Sweden, what they do in the targeting goes against the law of the land. So God is for due process, not evil things done in secret that the government is doing that has to be covered up, because if people find out about it, they'd be like riots in the streets. That's not how it ought to be, okay? They had to cover up Epstein Island before that got exposed, because it's an evil thing that people are appalled by, and if they hear about it, they want to shut it down, see? But good things that the government do, they don't have to hide it, okay? So this gang stalking persecution program targeted with, a lot of targeting tactics are clearly against the law of the land, which means they're illegal. Harassment is illegal in Sweden, and this gang stalking persecution program recruits people to harass me. That's a big part of targeting. Threats are illegal in Sweden, and a big part of targeting, psychological warfare, has been communicating threats of actual bodily harm to me and loved ones. Okay? So harassment illegal, threats illegal. Both of them, threats and harassment, are part of gang stalking. Here's another thing. I've been attacked physically by the program. They've tried to make me have accidents. I've been poisoned, sprayed with chemicals. I got shot in the leg with something that I suspect could have been a CIA dart gun or something similar to it. Definitely, I've been attacked physically by the program. There's no crime that a person can commit in Sweden that, if tried and found guilty in a court of law, which is like the first step, understand, before the government can do something to a person. They can't go and whisper and tell people, like the cops, this guy's bad, and like, no, you have to have a due process and rule of law, see. So there's nothing that a person can do, no crime a person can commit in Sweden, that gives the government the right to do corporal punishment, to attack your body, okay? Nothing. Not killing 10 people, not murdering 100 babies. There's no crime, the worst crime you can imagine, robbing 10 banks and murdering 30 people. There's nothing that, if after finding you guilty of this, they could hurt you physically. Like poison your food or spray you with chemicals or try to make you have an accident or something like this. Nothing. Yet this program has been attacking me physically in other ways. So they've been breaking the law, okay? So the government's own law, Sveriges rikes lag, grundlagen, if I look at that and know what I'm talking with, it's like, oh, like 90% of what they're doing is illegal, clearly, see? And the government, the Swedish cops, are not a terror to these evil works, which this is. They're not a terror to it. They're not working to shut down the targeting. They are complicit in the targeting. They're enabling it, make it happen. And you know what happens if you have a population like this, like North Korea or something like this, where the government is, people are being abused and tyrannized. The government is protecting the criminals that are abusing people. It leads to people feel like taking matters into their own hands against the government or against the people that are proxies of the government. That's what that leads to in society. That's how you create chaos in society, where people get repeatedly abused and violated, and the government is enabling it to happen and making it happen. And you as the target, if you react to the criminal targeting, that you be penalized. Okay? Like I'm targeted with a criminal persecution program. And it hasn't happened once that the cops has arrested somebody that's worked for the program. But if I go crazy from the target that's working to make me go crazy, it's like, oh, get him in a psych ward. See? And then have flying monkeys threaten me about chemical lobotomization and get you in the psych ward and maybe assassinate you in there or something like this. Okay? So, rulers are a terror. I see people in Sweden, like the government, being a terror to evil works, to good works, not evil. So clearly, the governments in this world are not, by default, going to be a terror to evil works, but to good. Because gang stalking is an evil work. This gang stalking persecution program, state persecution program. And the government is not being a terror to it, working to stop it. As a matter of fact, me being good and doing my Christian duty of resisting tyranny and reproving the unfruitful works of darkness, they're a terror to that, see? They're a terror to me resisting tyranny, wickedness, and working to defend my freedoms that God gave me against that criminal target. They're a terror to people working to stop like this evil stuff by exposing it and reproving it. See, me working to use my freedom of speech to reprove the wickedness of gang stalking, they've been a terror to that. Where it's like, you better stop making videos, speak about what we're doing to you, or you're gonna get hurt or something like this. That's them being a terror to good works and have no fellowship with unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. And to do the Bible Church that participate in this gang stalking persecution program. What is this gang stalking program? It's designed to destroy a man's life, but he turned and rebuked them and said, you know not what man of spirit you're of, for the Son of Man did not come to destroy men's lives, but to save them. Gang stalking is designed to destroy a man's life, attack his mind, his body, his finances, his relationships, everything. So, yeah, Duluth Bible Church and Yankee Arnold are two of these sellouts, like YouTube Christians, quote unquote, ministries that have participated in this gang stalking persecution program. And they're working not just to target me, but since they're deep state shells, that's going to be one of the things to do. Just like the lost children of Satan in this world, that they target me for the program. And if these people are saved, they really won't. So, yeah, okay. So yeah, anyways, the point. Now, I can tell you this. I have a sword and I don't carry this in vain. This is not just a decoration I have to feel tough. This is in case I need to stab somebody to death. Understand? In self-defense. That's one of the reasons. I don't carry the sword in vain. And people have a reason to be afraid if they will get in my house and start abusing me. Because there's a level of abuse where I will be justified by the law to strive and to defend myself. So I carry not the sword in vain, see? And people that are not like in my house, coming into my house to attack me with violence, they don't have to be worried about what weapons I have and the training and how dangerous I can be if I want to. Okay. Now, the government hasn't been working to protect me from people breaking the law and attacking with narcissistic dog abuse tactics, which is illegal, and communicating veiled threats and everything else. They haven't done anything to protect that. So now I know that I'm ready to protect myself. I'm ready to protect myself. And nobody has to be worried about me getting violent with them unless they're attacking me. And there's certain type of ways of attacking me where I could legally defend myself. So I don't have weapons in my home just for decoration. I have it partly in case I need to defend myself. And there's certain circumstances where it would be legal for me to use lethal force. Okay. That is not a law lecture. Okay. So anyway, support. So self-defense is legal in Sweden. Nödvärnsrätten. So here's the point. So yeah, the Swedish government is not working to stop tyranny. They're not working to stop this illegal criminal persecution, but because they're part of it, they're complicit. This is state persecution, and I'm a Christian. And don't fall for these tactics by sellout ministries like Duluth Bible Church, where they ever so sadly work to enable tyranny that's been working to talk my life. They're working for the deep state. Same deep state that have been working to destroy my life and taught me despicable ways. And you know what? King George was the powers to be in America when the Founding Fathers rebelled. If it wasn't for the Founding Fathers rebelling against the British because they didn't like being abused, you wouldn't have a country. You wouldn't have a country. And the Founding Fathers, the right to bear arms is to fight cops. That's why you have that. Do you know that? It's not for skeet shooting or hunting. The Second Amendment or First, whichever one it is. I'd be excused not being American if I sometimes fail to remember which number it is. But here's the point. The right to bear arms should not be infringed upon. The Second Amendment, don't buy the tyrants like Biden or whoever. There's you have the right to go like sport shooting or hunting or stuff like this. No, the reason that you have the right to bear arms in America is in case government turns tyrannical, the people can rise up and rebel against the tyrants. See? And who do you think, if this American government turns tyrannical? Let's say when Biden was in office. Now it's already right now going on tyranny with this gang stalking persecution program. That's already working with enemies foreign domestic. Trump, Biden is in Little Bible Church are working for the same deep state that ran Epstein Island and did 9/11. Okay, see, that's already the case. That's already the case. So that's who the Bible Church are working for. Enemies foreign domestic to destroy America. And this gang stalking persecution program they serve for flies in the face of America. To process that you have people in America and Sweden being told with this persecution program where without a vigorous defense, without being proven guilty of anything in court of law, the government is putting people up to harass, abuse, poison, and attack people physically without ever finding a person guilty in a court of law. That's tyranny. And why do you think that they have to keep this covered up? Because it's evil. And the average Joe that's not like a theologian, super Christian, even he can see that this is super evil. Okay? And would not like it. So the reason that Americans had the right to bear arms, the Founding Fathers, just the way the Founding Fathers intended it, it's in case the government turns tyrannical. Because a pre-step to tyranny and like genocide is always like the Stalinist, Maoist, purges, whatever, the Holocaust. It's always disarming the populace. Where it's like you never see this like mass murder in an armed population. Always as a pre-step, it's like we had to make it illegal. People have to hand in the guns to the Soviet Union or something. Like always as a pre-step, if you have a country with people armed, that acts as a deterrent and preventative to tyranny. But if there's like, well, we're fixing to get real tyrannical here, we need to get the guns out of the hands of the people first. See? Imagine if Germany was like America, or like America used to be more, where it's like every home or every other or third home, they had like a AR-15 at home or something like this, or like shotguns or whatever, firearms. Imagine just the logistics, how much harder it would be to make the Holocaust happen. If it's like, oh, here's like a half track or like a truck showing up out in like an apartment complex neighborhood, and like the SS, the Waffen SS jump out, and they're gonna go knocking doors and it's like, oh, this is you coming with us. If there's like a lot of people just come out the window and they know what's going on because they've heard news that they're going rounding up Jews to put them in camps and murder them, and now people break the window, come out and start shooting at them. Imagine just how much harder it would be to do something like that, the Holocaust, if people were armed. It would be nigh impossible, say. It'd be nigh impossible to do it. So first they would have to go, well, it will make it illegal for Jews to own weapons, and every Jewish person has to hand over their firearms to the government now. And it's like, okay, now we can round up the Jews, see. So if Biden had turned tyrannical, and as an example, if he had gone like, we're going to put all people with disabilities, like autistic people, whatever, like everybody who's like black, okay, all black people are going to FEMA camps, okay. We're taking all the black people, put them in FEMA camps, and like part of the contest is like, you know, that they're going to be worked to death and killed in there. Now that was going to be hard to do when a lot of black Americans have firearms, okay. That's going to be a lot harder to do if a lot of black Americans have firearms, and also white people that are not like wanting the black people dead. Just like to show up to government. And who do you think is going to show up? Do you think it's going to be Biden showing up single-handedly, knocking doors? It's like, hey, black guy, you're coming with me, and like wrestle you to the ground and drag you off to the camp. But then like it's going to be Biden going around dragging the people into camps himself. No, it's going to be the cops. It's going to be the police. They're going to be the boots on the ground, Orwellian boot. Okay, that is going to be the police. It's going to be possibly the military. Okay, so and that's also why they work to put the American people at a disadvantage, like 10-round mag limits. It's being infringed upon. See, it's like you're supposed to have the freedom to have weapons that you can fight the government with. See, it's like, and if I look at the gun laws, the restrictions in certain states, where it's like 10-round mag limits and things like this, no full auto. It's like it's designed to put you at a disadvantage against the police, okay? That's what it's designed to do. It's designed to put you as a disadvantage against the police. It's like, oh, you can't, it's hard for you to get a 50 B&G with AP rounds, because with that, you could shoot through ballistic shields that the SWAT team that comes to get you have. And the MRAP, like the mine-resistant, ambush-protected, turretless vehicle, and it can be retrofitted with a turret, by the way, the police MRAPs, okay, APCs. It's like, yeah, you can't engage that, even with like a 7.62 by 39 or 223 round, you can't punch through these trucks that the cops have, okay, but with a 50 B&G with AP ammo, you could. So make that really hard to get, okay. Like illegal in a lot of states, and like really hard to get for others. Do you understand? So if you look at the laws, it's like it's designed, a lot of the restrictions that they have in America, anywhere from state to state, it's like somebody understands it, because yeah, it's designed to put the citizen at a disadvantage against the police departments, because it's the police that's going to be the henchmen of the tyrants if it comes to putting people in camps or whatever the thing will be. Okay. 10-round mag limit, for example, no full auto. So if you think about it like this, if I would have an AR-15 with 30 rounds in it, okay, and there's like a 6-man SWAT team that shows up, and they don't have a shield for some reason, that complicates things, and I have to get into different tactics there. But let's say there's like a 6-man SWAT team that shows up. Maybe I need 3 rounds per SWAT guy to put him down, like 2 set of mass and 1 in the head or something like this. Or shoot 1 time in the leg and 1 time in the head. Shoot parts of the body that doesn't have body armor. Let's say they have level 4 body armor that can stop like a 223, 5.56, 223. Still, it's like headshots you can get up, okay? So maybe I need 3 rounds to get, bang, 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 to get like 2 misses, and then the 3rd one I hit him in the head. So maybe I need 3 rounds per guy to take him out. Now with 30 rounds, 3, 6, 9, it's like, yeah, with 1 mag possibly you could like have a chance of take out the whole SWAT team with 1 AR-15 with 30 rounds in it, okay, if you're good enough at shooting, okay. Now if you have 10 rounds, see, it's like boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, still didn't get one ahead. It's like once you got a 1 or 2, click, 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 and you had to reload, and people die in gunfights reloading. That's when people die a lot of times. People die in gunfights reloading out of cover, okay? See, How to get shot in a gunfight. Be out of cover while reloading, okay? Because it's very hard just being, if you're not behind cover, but you're engaging the enemy, he's being suppressed. And it's a lot harder to be effective in your fire against somebody if you're being shot at by the person. Do you understand? So it's like, if a guy is standing like in a parking lot with a gun, like this, okay, and a car pops out, starts shooting him, it's easier for him to like be accurate and like hit him in the head or where he wants to hit him. Now, if the person is shooting at you, and like it's gonna be harder for you to be accurate in your fire. Okay. So anyway, the First Amendment, second, whatever, the right to bear arms is being infringed upon because you have to pay the government for your rights. See? And it's like a lot of people are less American in spirit than I am, being Swedish, okay, and dumb. So here's the point. The right to bear arms, it's for you can fight government, cops, so you can fight the government, okay? And you're supposed to be able to effectively fight the government, okay? So, it's been infringed upon, where you had to pay a tax stamp, a 2FA tax stamp. If you want a full auto, you have to apply for it to the government, pay the government money. You don't have to pay for your freedom of speech. So imagine it was like, yeah, now you have the right to freedom of speech up until this point as an American, and it's not been infringed upon. But to be able to hate speech or something like this, if you like to, you have like you start in America, you have the right to freedom of speech. You can say I'm a Christian, it's a sin to be gay, and things like this. But if you go and like say something like it's like there's got to be a level. It's like, yeah, to have this level of freedom of speech, you had to apply to the 2FA and get the tax stamp, the freedom of speech stamp, where you can have full freedom of speech, where you can have full order, or you can have, do you understand? You can have full freedom of speech. You have like freedom of speech light as an American, but the government has been working like, yeah, to get like the full freedom of speech, you need to apply to the government and pay a tax stamp, and now you can have a full order, a full freedom of speech, okay? They'd be like, yeah, you can have freedom of speech, like saying politicians are scumbags, but if you want to say that you believe that this religion is wrong or something, you have to pay the 2FA to have the full freedom of speech. You have to pay a tax stamp to have like the full order freedom of speech. Now that's what they've done with the gun rights, which like, yeah, you have the right to have some guns, okay, some guns, but to have like full order and guns that are close to what the government has, like the cops, you have to apply. And pay a tax stamp and things like this. And it also means that there's a registry on everybody that has like a full order. And do you understand? So if the government turns tyrannical, as a pre-step, they can go, well, here's the people that have, it's like we know where like this guy in Texas has an M60 at home. This guy, he could be a problem. This person, we know that he has like a full order M4 because he applied for it. And it's like, as a pre-step for the tuner, it could be like, just apprehend these people, get these people first, or something. Do you understand? So, yeah, I'm a persecuted Christian, taught with a secret persecution program called Gangstalkathon videos. And a ton is evil, it's against the law of the land. So it's really hard to argue about that because what they're doing is criminal and illegal. See, tyranny. Harassment is illegal. And the government, this program, the threats is illegal in Sweden. Threats is illegal. And they told me what threats. They've attacked my mother, made her bleed, okay? Another thing, they've gotten a dentist to poke a hole in my tooth on purpose, which can be fatally to heart attack and strokes. I've been shot in the leg with a dart gun by the program. I've been sprayed with chemicals when outside. And part of the targeting is like they're telling me that I'm a bug or an animal. And then they're spraying me like a cockroach. Like they tell me you're like a cockroach and then they're spraying me sometimes when I go outside with chemicals. Okay. This is the level of tyranny I've been targeted with. This is the level of tyranny. So, Duluth Bible Church and Yankee Arnold are two Christian ministries that have target me for this program. Maybe I should have made a 10-minute video on TikTok about this instead, because here on YouTube it's like they work to sabotage it a lot, and I get more traction when I make TikTok videos. It's kind of interesting how a Chinese platform, TikTok, that's like China is like call me, okay, the Chai calls, that they had, it's like they're doing less to limit my ability to have success, see? Whereas, do you understand? So, like, they're less communistic than American YouTube, see? Free market capitalism, as opposed to non-free market communism or something like this. So on YouTube, it's like, yeah, the people that sell out the tyrants, we let them, other people shadow ban, and we work to keep them from getting that much success. Shadow banning. It's like, this guy is producing quality product, and he'll have a lot of success and a financial reward if we don't work to keep him from getting the views and the growth and the money that he will get naturally from producing this quality work and working this hard. See, whereas on TikTok, it's not perfect, but it's like there's less, in my experience, there's been like less for sure, or like work and like make sure this guy doesn't get too many views when I post videos, shadow banning, algorithm manipulation. So it's like I've done tests where I put like a short on YouTube and then the same video to TikTok, and I get more views and more like engagement on TikTok. So anyway, here's the point. Here's another thing. Poke some holes in your wicked lies. Almost 30. Okay. In Sweden, the police celebrate gay pride parades. I guess you're not considering being a homosexual sodomite an evil work. Huh? Or flying gay pride flags above schoolyards in Sweden, which I saw in this city. June, Gay Pride Month. They were flying a gay pride flag above the school ground. I didn't see the cops show up there like sawing down and take down the flag. I didn't see the cops show up with horses when they have a gay pride. These things the Lord hate, a proud look. So it's like, it's not just pride in of itself, anything, okay? It's like the looks alone, face value, like pride. We're proud, we're celebrating pride, okay? Now it's pride about a sin, homosexuality, man with man working that which is unseemly. We're proud to be doing that. We're celebrating it across the street, okay? If you don't think that's an evil work, I don't know what you're doing. So the Swedish government, powers to be, they're not shutting down gay pride parades. They're celebrating gay pride. I've seen the Swedish police force participate in celebrating gay pride. Did you know that? Where I can show you videos where they have a Swedish police bus where they deck it out and put gay pride flags on the Swedish next to the seal of authority of the government, like the police department. See, and then they put gay pride flags on it, and they have police in uniform marching the gay pride parade. Yeah, okay. So I guess I'm right. See, how do you argue with that? It's like Mike saying the Swedish government is not a terror to evil works, but to good. And I can show you example after example, proof that they're not being a terror to evil works. See? It's like, unless you say, no, it's not evil to be gay. And be like, I'm proud, I'm gay, I'm proud to be. See? Pride, sodomy. Okay? How clear can you get? You read Romans chapter 1 if you want to see God's attitude towards the sinful patterns. So most people that are Swedish fornicators, which is also a sin, to watch porn, to have sex with people not married to, they don't have fornicators Pride Day every July and walk around fornicating Pride Day, okay? I'm a fornicator, okay? I sexual that as a fornicator and I'm proud to be that way, okay? So, no. So, the Swedish government has been proven to be a government that is not a terror to evil works, but to good, okay? And the same goes for the American government. So apparently the Romans chapter is not like dealing with it. It doesn't mean, Romans 13, it doesn't mean that this is how things are. I read it as a job description, where God is telling government, yeah, you should have government, and this is how government should be. Yeah, so Duluth Bible Church, this program has hurt my loved ones and cut my mother in the foot after communicating veiled threats for a long time that they're going to make my mother bleed as a sacrifice. And Duluth Bible Church is one of the churches that have communicated these veiled threats. So here's another thing. I've been abused by tyrants for this program, gang assault persecution program, and people have been telling me ways are clearly legal, and it never happened that the cop bust through the door and go like, "We're here arresting you." Like the previous LSS staff, for example, they were abusing me in their own home, where their job is to make my life easier. Okay, the previous caregiving firm, and they were doing narcissistic dog abuse tactics to me in my home, including not limited and all kinds of stuff. And I was long suffering and ignore as much as I can, but it caused a lot of psychological like trauma and damage. Where it's like over years and years I was letting it happen. Years and years, like showing up again, doing narcissist always abuse tactics to me. Okay. And I could have pulled a knife and stabbed them to death several times, and they wouldn't have a chance to make it out of this apartment alive. But I guess that wasn't the right move, okay? Being long suffering, having the opportunity to really get back at these people, take matters into their own hands, and execute judgment and wrath on them. See, because they were breaking the law, psykologisk misshandel, trakasserier mot en person i utsatt läge med person med autism och personer som gör brottet är någon man ska kunna lita på. Grovt, okay? Grova brott. So basically the law is like harassment is illegal, psychological violence. Now it's especially like severe if you're doing it to somebody who's especially vulnerable to abuse, like an autistic person, and if the person doing it is a person that has a job to help you out, you're supposed to be able to trust them, that they're here to help you. And the job that's regulated by Swedish law, LSS-lagen, is like make your life easier, and they're doing their best taking orders to make your life harder and hurt you and harm you psychologically and traumatize you. Okay? That's serious crimes. And I could have gone to the bathroom, came out running at them with a knife, and they wouldn't have a chance to make it out alive in this apartment. But I didn't do that, see? I didn't take matters into my own hands. I didn't get physical with them. If I would have decided to, they wouldn't have had a chance to make it out of here unharmed. I can tell that right now. Now, maybe I was wrong then, because all these years of the LSS caregiving from the previous one, there's been a change now. So, of them showing up here, work for the gang stalking program, taking orders to abuse my own home with narcissistic dog abuse tactics, subtle abuse tactics. And I was long suffering, gentle, kind. That's my response. And just forgiving and letting go. And despite every time they're showing up, they abuse me, I kind of ignore as much as I can, and I remain kind and friendly until I start going nuts. And it like builds up after years. It's like I go and live with rants. Like I'm mad as hell about this and this. So, and then the Swedish government comes arrest me because I'm reacting, then the victim. I'm reacting after years of criminal abuse. I'm reacting being autistic, like going nuts from multi-year intense abuse, okay? Oh, he's crazy. Put him in the psych ward, see? So what did I do that led to the cops coming and taking me away in cuffs? Was it pulling a weapon and stabbing somebody? No. It's being patient and kind and letting things happen to me and just eventually going kind of mad from the targeting. Okay. So it wasn't for like pulling weapons or fighting some way the people that have been doing this to me. I didn't do that, but I still got taken away in cuffs and went put in a psych ward. After the program has threatened if to get into psych ward, they might chemically lobotomize me or take me out in there. Okay. See? And if my heart rate goes up when I'm out in public, Scott, maybe it's because the cops have threatened me before that in the future when you run into us, it's not going to be that pleasant for you. Okay? And they have broken the law. So it's like, these are people that have shown that they're not caring about the law, how they ought to operate. I've seen them break the law before, Swedish police, against me, which obviously these guys can't be trusted. And I've received threats from Swedish police before. That is like, next time we pull you over, it might not be that pleasant for you, like a subtle threat. Okay. And what have I been doing when the cops are being a terror to me? Oh, using my legal right to live stream in public, working to get the word about Gametune, gang stalking. See, it's like I'm live streaming, which is legal to do in a restaurant, in the supermarket, out in public, doing live vlogs, and the cops show up and give me heat and harass me about it. See, so you can learn from listening to me. So here's the point. The targeting is illegal, okay? Harassment is illegal in Sweden. Threats is illegal. Attacking people physically is illegal. Trying to make people have accidents is illegal. All of these things are things that probably have done to me. So the Swedish police are not being a terror to these evil works. They're not showing up in the supermarket where there's 10 people and they're harassing me and arresting them. When I was abused by the previous caregiving firm in here doing narcissistic abuse tactics to me in my home, they didn't show up. It's like, hey, well, it's like you've been communicating veiled threats and then doing psychological violence to this person being arrested. No, it wasn't until I go kind of nuts from all the targeting, like included but not limited to that, and it's like I go mad from it. It's like, oh, put him in a psych ward, and then blame the victim, Darvo. See, the same people that have been breaking the law in targeting go like, this guy's crazy, okay, like a Darvo campaign, a Darvo campaign. So, and peaceful resistance, Mike is like, yeah, peaceful resistance, they don't allow that, and they make that a non-effective way to resist, I have to say. Because if I make videos speaking the truth, they put me in a psych ward. If I work to resist this government tyranny and people working for this persecution program, with speaking out, I get threats that are gonna murder me and take me out, and they intensify the criminal targeting. So me using my mouth to make videos, freedom of speech, to fight this by doing live streams, getting the word about gang stalking, the cops show up and make that real hard and harass me. I get threats and I've almost died from the targeting of this. So if it gets to a point where I go really nuts, it's like I might not be able to control and be on camera after that, tell you my side of the story, which is why I've been focusing on saying what I want said all over different platforms. So that's my side of the story. Understand? If something really goes nuts, if things really go bad, understand? I've already said it. If you hear that I got into a fight in the supermarket, get violent with anybody, they were a gang stalker, a persecutor, worked for this program that has cut my mother in the foot with a scalpel, threatened, hurt me physically, attacked me physically, and been working to destroy my life for more than 10 years. Harassment, poisoning, attacked my body and mind. It's like, if you hear that I got into a confrontation with somebody, if that's a security guard or a cop or an average Joe, you can counter the fact they were a gang stalking perp working for the program, or they were doing something to abuse you before that, okay? Which means, I don't know, maybe if I just, I'm not threatening anything. I'm saying if I'm in the supermarket, oh, here again, there's people in here harassing me, doing subtle targeting, And I go like, fuck you, you perp scumbag. Maybe the cops try to put me in the psych ward, and I can't make videos after that. But it's like, I said this before that, okay? So, anyways, the point. Yeah, so what is the lesson of looking at how do the Bible church work? You can break the law to harm people as long as you do it in a way where you can get away with it. Say. It's like just be smart and wise in how you hurt people. Looking at how they operate. If you would like look, how do the Christian leadership work and model that? If somebody, you feel like they deserve to be harmed by you, you can harm them, you can hurt them. Even if it's illegal and the Bible says it's wrong, just as long as you make sure you can get away with it. Okay. That's the message. And what is the message that the Swedish government sends? It's like Swedish law, you don't have to stick to that. It doesn't matter, it's just a piece of paper. Because there's people that break the law in Tyrant for this persecution program. And I know that it's illegal, harassment is illegal, threats is illegal, attacking people physically is illegal. And all of these things have been done to me repeated over the years by this persecution program. And the cops haven't done anything to stop it. They've been participating in it, if anything. See? So, yeah, I'm a target of a secret persecution program called Gang Stalker Tornadoes, and it's state persecution. And I have a right to speak out about this. And I'm not gonna keep my mouth shut, understand? I'm gonna keep speaking out. I'm gonna make videos, Rumble, TikTok, wherever. And I'm sick and tired of having to hold back a lot on YouTube and teaching health fitness. Because if I'm working to save Christians' life from cancer, they give me medical misinformation strikes, okay? See, if I'm teaching the truth. So I'm gonna go to other platforms, which is why I like having a Rumble channel where I can really say what I want about any health topic there, okay? I can say anything I want about any health topic there. And I don't have to be like, well, on YouTube. It's like, I can't talk about vaccines on YouTube. That's a touchy issue because some people have gotten their channel taken away by just talking about vaccines. So it's like, as a general topic, vaccines, I'm not going to deal with that in my YouTube videos. But if I want to make a video and speak on health fitness and not be like, oh, God rest, I can't talk about vaccines as part of health fitness. And really freely, because no, on Rumble I can say what I want. On YouTube I don't feel comfortable talking about vaccines at all. See, I can say vaccine, but I'm not feel comfortable to talk about what I think about them, what I don't, and whatever. Okay, so do you understand? Okay, because just generally that topic is very sensitive. Okay, so let's look at find Romans here. Romans. And if I run into one of these previous caregiving staff in the street and I confront them, just seeing them in public will show that the government hasn't been a terror to the evil works and arrested them for criminal harassment. Okay. The same with other people, like the people that had, like there's several people in the city that I know were persecutors. If I run into them one of these times when I'm out in public, well, just seeing them shows me that the government hasn't been a terror to the evil work and locked them up for the crimes they've been committed. Okay. See. That just shows that they haven't been a terror. They haven't been the government a terror to the evil works. Okay. They haven't been a terror to the evil works. Okay. Just face value. Then if I want to confront one of these people, the previous caregiving staff, about how they were treating me in my own home here, and ask them, that's not illegal. I can do it if I want to. Here we got Romans here. Here, Romans 13. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers. Now, it doesn't say government, it says higher powers. For there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. Whosoever therefore, this is a favorite chapter by deep state puppet pastors and churches like the Bible Church to wrest and use more or less subtly to get Christians to enable tyranny and the satanic wicked deep state. See, it's used to recruit Christians into participating in gang stalking, this evil persecution program of not resisting evil, basically. This is a favorite chapter to wrest out of context. Whosoever therefore resisted the power resisted the orders of God. And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. For rules are not a terror to good works, but to evil. Interesting. That apparently can't mean, the correct interpretation can't be, that the rulers of Sweden, America government, they are going to be a terror unto evil works. Because if I look at Sweden, they had the Swedish cops celebrate gay pride. See? And the Bible, same Bible in Romans 1, teaches that it's evil to be gay. And these things that the Lord hates, a proud look. See? So the pride is not like, it's a bad thing. So God's word, same passage, book, Romans, in Romans 1, teaches being a sodomite, a gay person, is evil, it's a sin. Okay? The Bible teaches it's a sin to be prideful. And the Swedish government, cops, celebrate gay pride. Gay pride. Burned in the last one toward another. And I'm proud of it. We're burning in our last one toward another. Man with man work there, which is unseemly. Proud to be doing it. Pride. I'm a proud sodomite. And the Swedish police are part of this parade celebrating that. Gay pride. Okay. So apparently, this doesn't mean, the correct interpretation cannot be that if you have a government, they're going to be doing the right thing. See, they're going to be a terror to bad things and not good. Because they've been a terror, because of the talk I receive every time I go outside, there's less soul winning. Where I go outside to share the gospel, I can't go outside often because it's bad for my health. I get sprayed with chemicals sometimes when I go outside. If I go to a corner store to do a gospel tract, they have people in there, well, like heckling to stress me out and running to fence what I'm doing. So the Swedish government persecution has been a terror unto good works. See? Make it harder to share the gospel. Okay? For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to evil. But the Swedish government didn't make it illegal. Okay, they're not. I don't see them going around taking down gay pride flags or stickers in the supermarket. Where in Sweden, like every public place becomes like the theme becomes like gay pride. Every supermarket you go to, they have like gay pride special. They have like the gay pride flag. They fly gay pride flag on public buses. This type of stuff. So I don't see the government going there shouting down, let's remove these stickers. Okay, illegal gay pride stickers or something like this. I don't see the government going with horses and shutting down gay pride parades. I see Swedish police joining gay pride parades and celebrating gay pride. Okay. See? And I didn't see anybody being arrested for 9/11 in America, which is a very evil work. Murder of thousands of people, Americans. But to evil, wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. For he is a minister of God to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid, for he beareth not the sword in vain. For he is the minister of God, a revenger to execute wrath upon them that do evil. So, now the government is not, the Swedish government, they're not living up to this. Okay. And me, I'm armed and dangerous, okay? See, shamelessly that. And I'm intending to like be more dangerous and at least as armed. I'm intending to remain at least as armed as I am and get even more dangerous if possible. And I don't carry my weapons and training in vain, which means everything I've been doing is like I don't have it like the knife that I have here, which is like a micro sword, a small sword. This is not just something I have to feel tough or as a decoration. This is a sword, and I carry it for a reason, in case I need to use it. Understand? That's why I have it. That's why I have the training. It's like I have training and weapons in case I need to use them. See, and nobody has to be worried about me getting physical with them, unless they're doing something that's an evil work, like abusing me, fighting with me, psychological warfare, physical warfare, attacking me. Then it can vary what somebody's doing to you. It's like if somebody does this, I have the right to do this. Okay, so it's like if I'm out in public and someone gives me a dirty look, I don't have the right to punch in the mouth necessarily. Okay, but like if somebody breaks into my house in the middle of the night, some crackhead, and run at me with a machete, yeah, I'm gonna stab with my spear or whatever I'm gonna use. Do you understand? And so it's like if somebody is looking to do evil to others, like attack them physically, they should be worried about what's gonna happen to them. Here's another thing. I believe that every citizen, Mike said, pro freedom. I believe that every citizen has a right and a duty to be as armed and dangerous as they can legally be in the nation, at the very least, okay? And it becomes another discussion, like when is it right to go around the law, if ever, and things like this, as like a philosophy, ethics discussion. Now here's the point. By local laws, okay, regardless of what you swipe sometimes. Now I'm saying this. I believe that a person should be about as armed and dangerous as they legally can be, okay, as a preventative of tyranny and to protect human life. Because apparently, you can't trust the government. Now, here's the point. So here's the point. Oh, yeah. And I do not believe that people have a right to feel safe and comfortable while abusing others. I don't believe that bullies bullying people in the workplace or at school have a right to feel safe while doing that. They should feel scared. They should feel like they could understand. I do not believe that people should have the right to feel safe and comfortable while abusing others. If that's workplace or school ground bullying, okay, school bullying, workplace bullying. I don't believe that burglars breaking into people's homes in the middle of the night have a right to feel safe and comfortable doing so. Okay, I don't. I don't believe that people bullying others, abusing others have a right to feel safe and comfortable doing so. And I believe that they should feel afraid. Okay, they should feel afraid. So, me, for example, people don't have to be afraid of me. Okay, I don't go around picking fights or like looking to hurt people. The only reason someone had to be worried about what I'm going to do to them if they are attacking me. Understand? I mean, if somebody, I'm not the type of guy that I'm out in public. I don't like the way that guy looks. I got to run up and kick him or something like this, whatever. No, but if somebody comes at me, attacking me, yeah, I just self-defense. They might get hurt. It may or may not get really hurt. Okay, and that is how it should be. Now, I think that the founding fathers, if they would be alive and look at what's been happening to me, they might fault me for not having been more violent. Understand? In my how I've been dealing with this tyranny and persecution, possibly. I would say I don't think they'd be like, Mike, you've been too angry about the abuse. I think if anything, they'd be like, Mike, you haven't been angry enough, okay? It's like you should understand. It's like it's like you haven't been angry and you haven't been like rebellious enough, okay? It's like they cut your mother, the tyrants. They threatened to hurt your mother. Then they hurt your mother, okay? And they've been spraying you like a cockroach when not empowered with poison chemicals and telling you that you're a cockroach, okay? And they're recruiting people you don't have the freedom to be out in public, share the gospel, just go eat at a restaurant without being harassed. And you just ranting about it on social media. That's all you've been doing. Maybe they fault me for not being more active in my resistance. So anyway, that's the point. I really don't like abuse, and I'm a real man. I'm a strong leader, and I'm a man. Understand? It's take a lot of strength. God made me a leader, not a follower. And I've been out here leading, like being the one person fighting gang stalking in this country to the right way. Speak the truth about it. And you know what? You can't go, oh, Mike, it's like they targeted me because you chose to speak out. No, they were targeting me before I started speaking out and working to expose this persecution program. They had attacked me ways where I could have died. They were attacking me physically in horrific ways before the target started. Before I started doing like the expose, working to expose gang stalking videos. So anyway, finishing up, the Bible local laws regarding self-defense and use of weapons at all times, and nothing I said in this video is taken as a threat or glorifying violence or anything like this. What I'm saying is, I really don't like being abused, and I believe, yeah, I have a right to defend myself, okay? I have a right to defend myself, and I've been very long-suffering. Thanks to God. So, that's me teaching the truth to get on tyranny and Romans. Just simply, here's what it doesn't mean. Because the big problem is people going, here's what it means, and it's not what it means. Do you understand that Hitler was the powers to be, quote unquote, in Nazi Germany? If you would hold to that interpretation, they say, well, Romans here, a government in your country, say, their terror to evil work not good. Notice how historical examples and current ones. Hitler was an evil person. They did evil, okay? I think it's kind of evil to be massacring Jews and putting them in Holocaust camps and murdering children and baby mothers, everybody, okay? There were some evil works. And Hitler was the government, the Nazis. So apparently, he wasn't a terror to good works, but he wasn't a terror to evil works, but to good, see? The Allies came, we need to liberate the Jews, okay? And Hitler was a terror to those good works. Meaning people working to save the Jews from being murdered by the Nazis. Hitler was a terror to them, see. Fight the Allies are coming, okay. So Hitler was the government. Politics. He was the government. Hitler was the government. So apparently Romans can't mean, Romans 12, 13, Romans 13, whatever. It can't mean this is how the governments are. If I'm saying there's more to back up my argument, then my interpretation is it's a job description where God says humans should have government, here's how government ought to be, should be. That's my view, okay? And people are going, no, that's not the right view. It's like, here's how the governments are. Terror to good works, not evil. That's how American government, it's like application. American government are going to be a terror to evil works, not good. And just submit to them. And Swedish government. Apparently it can't mean that. Because I can show you all these examples of the Swedish and American government not being a terror to evil works, but being a terror to good works. And historical examples, like Hitler was a government in Germany, being a terror to good works and doing evil works, using the authority, the power of the government to do evil. See? So the correct interpretation cannot be that Well, it's like that if you have a government, they're gonna be a terror to evil works, not to good. And you should submit to them, period. See, it can't be that. Because Hitler was the powers to be. He was the government. And he did evil works. Unless you think, no, he was good, the Holocaust. And you'd be really crazy then. But no, Hitler. He was Hitler, okay. Hitler, that was kind of evil, see. Oh, the Jews that God loves. And that's what these Bible churches made on a lot of times, like the pro-Israel stuff, okay. So Hitler was anti-Israel and Jew to like the nth degree, okay. Murder all the Jews, abuse them, okay. Persecute them, go after them for being Jews, okay. See, that's evil. And he was the powers to be in Germany, quote unquote. Meaning he was the government. See? He was the government. So I guess Duluth Bible Church, if they'd probably be submitting to it, where it's like, hey, are you hiding the Jews here? If they had like a Jew hiding in the basement, Duluth Bible Church, okay. And the Nazis show up. Do you know what it's in? Yeah, they're in the basement. It was submitting to the government. We'll be surprised. I won't be surprised. It's gonna be another video. They don't love it. I don't care. I'm gonna keep speaking the truth. Let's chase forward, man.